Hey everybody, welcome back to the European League of Football podcast. I am your host, Nick Alfieri, aka Nauf. Today on the podcast, we have got the quarterback for the Milano Seamen in Italy, Luke Zahradka. Now, Luke has been a mainstay in Milan for many years. He has won 3 straight championships with the team from 2017 to 2019. So a lot of success in the Italian Football League. The team, of course, has transitioned now this year to join the European League of Football, where they are facing the new challenge of the continent-wide league. Now, Luke isn't only the quarterback for the Milano Seamen, he's also the quarterback for the Italian national team and the Italian national flag football team. So he's really involved in the European football world. We had a nice conversation. So without further ado, Luke Zahradka.
We've got the man, Luke Zahradka, here, quarterback of the Milano Seamen, longtime legend here in Europe on the European League of Football podcast. Luke, first thing that I want to ask you about is, can you kind of walk me through how you ended up in Europe? Because I think a lot of people know you as the Milano Seamen quarterback, but you actually had a little bit of a journey in different countries before that. You played for some other teams. So I kind of want to know about this journey, and also how did you get from Bentley in the States to playing in Europe?
Yeah, sure. So, back in college, didn't get much playing time, to be completely honest. And one of my old Pop Warner football coaches had a work colleague whose son was playing for the Milano Seamen, actually. And he was saying, I think it's too early for you to give up your football dream. So, you should take this, shot at making this profile on Euro players, and see if, European football would be something that you'd enjoy. So I did that. And then one day after, in summer break after college, I was just, messing around on Euro players. I decided to upload some highlights and whatnot that I had. And then shortly after that, I got contacted by the Kirchdorf Wildcats, a German team.
Nice.
They were a second division German team. And about 1 week after signing my contract, I was a reserve quarterback. They had issues with their starting quarterback, so they brought me in, and I kind of finished the season out over there. This was back in 2013, so 10 years ago, which is kind of crazy to think about.
Look, we're old, man. We're getting old.
We're vets, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
So from that point, I really enjoyed my experience there. I did kind of well with the team. And then from there, I went to play in France in Amiens Spartiates, which was another second division team in France. Did well playing there. And I just kind of kept moving up the ladder, wanted to, continue taking my talents as far as my talents allowed me to go.
Right.
And then I landed in Ancona in 2015, my first experience in the Italian league. Had some fun there. We did quite well, and then I got my passport, my Italian passport, the infamous, Italian passport with the Americans, as you know.
As I know too well.
As you know too well. I kind of stuck around the whole year, was coaching the youth team. And then after that, I wanted to continue to try and go up in ranks and, playing level. Went to the Prague Black Panthers in the Czech Republic, played in the Austrian league. That season did not go so well for us. Had some struggles there. And then after that, after playing for the national team for a simulation game, whatever you want to call it, like a friendly game, I was in touch with some of the, board members from the Milano Seamen, and then things just kind of panned out. And then since 2017, I've been here in Milan and have been loving every minute of it. So, yeah.
Yeah. Man, yeah, you've had quite the journey. Do you feel like you said that you kind of wanted to step up your game and elevate kind of each season, or play at a higher level? Do you feel like you've really developed these last 10 years as a quarterback as well? Like each year continues to progress?
100%. I mean, I think obviously getting a lot of reps helps with your development as a quarterback, and in college, not getting as many opportunities in game day, limits you maybe, and just playing helps you develop. And then obviously being around, tons of different coaches, you get to pick little pieces from their coaching habits and, implement that into your gameplay. And I think I've definitely seen my, gameplay increase over the years for sure.
Yeah, that absolutely, man. I mean, it's pretty obvious as well with the success that you guys have had with the Seamen, which kind of brings me into my next question. So your time with the Seamen, which you still play for, you guys went on a run here in I think it was 2017, 18, 19, where you three-peated as the Italian Football League champions. What was so special about this run with the team? And, a lot of times from the outside, when people see success like that with a team, people kind of imagine like, oh, it's quite easy for this team. They keep winning. They keep winning the championship. It's easy for them. But I know from personal experience, a similar experience, it's very difficult to stay on top like that. So how was that experience? What was so special about this run with the team? And what were some of the challenges in staying at the top of Italian football for many years?
Yeah, so I think, some of the challenges for sure is just, being able to perform at a high level game in and game out, especially when the games, you're getting playoffs because, you know, you're the team essentially that has like the target on your back every single week. You're the reigning champion, so everyone wants to knock you off. Not saying we went undefeated every single year, but, at the end of the day, when, it was crunch time, we were able to, perform and, come out with a win and essentially win championships. I think, just having that good group of, homegrown guys and just, good coaching staff that really cared about the team and, wanted to get the best out of its players was essential for us to continue our, run that we had those years. Obviously, in 2017, we, knocked off the Rhinos, who were probably the team to beat. They were undefeated the last 2 years, like 2016 and 2017, going into the final. And obviously the derby is like a big thing here in Italy, and being a part of that was really cool. And, kind of knocking them out from their title that they had was a great experience. And then just, having guys come into the program that would, help us succeed and buying into the Seamen mentality was definitely critical in us, being able to continue that dominant, run that we had going those 3 years.
Absolutely. Did you ever feel after winning 3 in a row, did you ever have a desire to go play somewhere else, go play in a different country, in a different league for a new challenge? Or were you just totally like, this is my spot, I'm staying here?
Yes and no. Yes, in the sense that obviously you want to like, playing in Europe, you get to see different countries and like just experiencing different cultures is really cool. However, like I was at that point in my life where I was kind of really content with where I was here in Milan. Italy is a great country. Playing for the national team, playing for the national flag football team, like I had a lot going on for me during that time. And I feel like, I did have a couple offers from different countries, Germany and others. But I just felt that, the Seamen treated me so well during those 3 years that it wasn't something I would just like pick up and leave and say like, all right, see you later. It was kind of like, built more off the field with them. So I didn't want to, leave them hanging kind of. And I just felt like, this is my place to be. And here I am, 6, 7 years later, still in the same place like you are over there in Hall.
Yeah, you like I absolutely respect it. You find a spot that you love and you stick with it. And like you kind of got to have that experience earlier on in your career until you found your long-term home, basically, which is kind of the best of both worlds. So that's pretty great. Well, now this season, 2023, is a little bit different for the Milano Seamen because in this past offseason, you guys transitioned from the Italian Football League to the European League of Football. This is the European League of Football podcast, so we got to talk about them a little bit. How was this transition for the team in the offseason and for you personally? Is it something that kind of came easy for the team and was a no-brainer to come join this league, or what was the process like?
So there was obviously like, rumors going on during the year last year that, the Seamen are going to join the ELF, blah, blah, blah. And then like when, they put the pen to paper that we were going to join, and like everyone was really excited for the opportunity to play in this new league, getting to play against the best teams throughout Europe and traveling and continue to, move around and still play football. It was a great opportunity for us. I think that, having a full off season for the first time in a long time was good for the team to be able to, work out, train together, and just prepare for the season. Because obviously the ELF is no joke. You got guys that are a lot bigger than what maybe the Italian players are accustomed to playing against. You got to face, week in and week out. Obviously, this league, there's one bye week. We had ours the first week of the season, which it is what it is. So, you got to go every single week, got to play games. And I think it was, it's a good challenge. Obviously, right now, our record doesn't show what kind of work I guess we're putting in because, we're 1-5 right now. So we're struggling there in the win department, but, we've been playing in some tight games. It's just that, things maybe haven't been falling our way. And, at the end of the game, we have a chance to, maybe tie it or whatnot. And just haven't made that extra click to do so. Personally, I love the challenge. It's not like I'm sure you've had this in your German career a couple of times where like by halftime, like it's not even a ball game anymore, and you kind of like, all right, like I'm done for the day. And this is like 4 quarters, 60 minutes, full football, like go 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 go, and it's just an awesome challenge, and something I've been wanting to do for a long time, and I'm happy that we made that jump.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, that's the cool thing about the league. It's so competitive and it's every single week. And just like you said, you and I have both, and a good amount of guys have had this experience where, all right, we're playing a game this week and you're out by halftime and you can chalk it up to a win. But in this league, it's every week and you've got to bring it. And you mentioned, yeah, your guys's record. And one of my questions basically was that I feel like your guys' record is not really indicative of the team that you guys are. I mean, if you look at it, all of your games are fairly close. A good amount of them are within one score. Even when you look at like the Frankfurt game that you guys had, that I think surprised a lot of people. What is it? What do you guys need to do to kind of turn some of these close games into W's?
I think it's just a matter of, making or minimizing our mistakes. Me particularly, turning the ball over. Obviously, every drive matters, and the margin for error is so small here in the European League of Football because every team is just so good and capitalizes on mistakes. And I think, if we're able to just do that and continue our, intensity and continue fighting to the end, then some of those losses are going to turn into wins sooner than later. Like you said, I think our game against Frankfurt was a really hard-fought game. We did really well defensively. I thought, stopping their offense. It's just that they made one big play at the end of the game to put them in a good field position, and then they wound up scoring. And then we had a chance, and their DB made a really nice play on a fade ball that we threw, and that's kind of how the game closed out. But I just think just trying to minimize our mistakes and continue fighting to the end of the game, and just like coming together more as a team to like build off each other's energy. I think that will help us perform better in the end.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, I feel like you guys are just so close to the tipping point to where like you guys could be 4-2 basically, or have a totally different looking record. I feel like you guys are quite close to the tipping point there. You have now played with a lot of different imports throughout your years. You've been an import yourself for many, many years, obviously very successful at the import position, having an import spot. What is it that you think makes an import coming over from the States successful in Europe? Because, we've seen it's not just talent. What is it?
Good question. That's a good question. I think it's a matter of, being able to like gel with the local guys as well. I've had a really good experience in all the different places that I've played, so I can't speak on maybe teams not treating their players right. I know that's been a topic of discussion where, maybe guys aren't getting treated well, or like the local guys exclude the imports. I think it's a matter of like being able to like be a part of the local guys and like understand that culture for what it is. Making the most out of like those, times off the field where you're not playing on the field, like to be able to like, get together with the guys, go out, and just build relationships off the field that, obviously can transition into something, longer after football's done. Obviously talent, performing on the field, guys are going to like their imports better. I feel like that's just, kind of an obvious. So I think it's a matter of being able to like, resonate with the guys and like get on like see eye to eye with them, and just, being able to communicate and build friendships off the field as well.
Absolutely. Kind of fitting in and understanding the intricacies of European football and some things are going to just be a little bit different, and to be able to adapt to that and go with the flow and understand that this is a totally different experience. That's where I typically think like that's where American imports have success and want to stick around then.
Mm-hmm.
You are not only known as the quarterback for the Milano Seamen, but also the quarterback for the Italian national team you've been a part of for quite a while and helped lead that squad, which I was lucky enough to be on in 2021 to the European Championship. What does that mean to you? Because, we can always we can talk about the clubs that people join, but with this situation, you're representing a country and you got to lead this country to a European Championship. How does that feel? What does that mean to you?
Yeah, awesome. I mean, I never once thought in a million years that, playing college football, like, oh yeah, I'm going to start, play for the Italian national team. Like, that never once crossed my mind. And once the opportunity presented itself, like, we want you to be a part of the national team, I was like, all right, I'm all in for that. And that's kind of why I never decided to leave Italy after I came to Milan. It was like, I want to be a part of this national team and, help bring it to where we can, like, go essentially. And been a part since 2015, and just the the journey to get to where we got was a long one, but definitely so worth it on every level. The guys, the bonds that we had, like the camps were awesome. Maybe like sleeping on an army base, waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning to the horn, like the national anthem playing and stuff like that. Like during the moment, like kind of just get like 20 more minutes of sleep, like please. But at the end, like just looking back, it's like wow, like all that like really like makes it worth it and like builds up the hype, I guess you could say. It's like being the European champs of American football and like being a part to represent a nation is just awesome. It's all for like the joy, kind of as Jordan was saying the other day. Yeah, it's awesome.
Absolutely, man. And it's like, I mean, what you just said, though, you never thought that you would be the starting quarterback for the Italian national team. And when I talk to people in the States and I tell them, like, oh, yeah, I played football in Germany, or I played football in Europe, for a team called the Unicorns. And the thing that surprises them the most, or oftentimes impresses people the most, is when I say, and also I played for the Italian national team and got to win the European Championship. That just seems so far-fetched, especially for guys like us who are from the States, and to be able to have that notch in your belt and that experience. I mean, just talking about the camp, it takes me back. The one at La Spezia on that military base, that's just so cool.
Yeah, it was awesome experience for sure.
So then also another thing that you are doing is flag football. You are the starting quarterback for the Italian national flag football team. How did this happen, and what is this situation like?
So back in 2016, I was playing in Prague, and Coach Garibaldi, the head coach for the national flag team, contacted me asking if I would be interested in playing flag football in a tournament. And I was like, give me some more details, whatever. He's like, all right, like the tournament's supposed to be in the Bahamas. I was like, all right, say less. Like I'm interested. Like count me in. So that's kind of how it started. The tournament got canceled there, and we wound up playing in Miami. It was the World Championships in Miami. So we went there, and I got to get a feel for flag football. That's where I met some of the guys on the team. Got to know Jordan really well during that tournament. That's where we first met. And from there, like just like as a national team, like every single year there was some sort of tournament, whether it be like the World Championship or the European Championship. We've had some success there for sure. We won the silver in the European Championship in 2017 and 2019. And then obviously this past season, like 2022 in the summer, we got to go to Alabama for like the World Games, which is like the Olympics for non-Olympic sports. And we had some success there and wound up losing to the U.S. in the final. So just, again, like it's just like never once in a million years I think I would be playing flag football for a national team, yet alone like in almost what the Olympics are essentially. So yeah, it's just mind-blowing at times, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I remember seeing like from the tournament last year, they were showing these highlights like on ESPN and stuff. And I remember being back in the States and like watching TV and seeing like seeing you guys that I played with on the national team, seeing you on ESPN, and these announcers being like, well, Italy actually got some football players. And they were always talking, their quarterback, they got this tall quarterback's really good. And it was just really a really cool thing to see. There are rumors. Actually, I don't even know if they're rumors. The NFL is pushing kind of hard to get flag football to be an Olympic sport in 2028. Do you think you still have 4 more years in yet? What is that? 5 more years? And is that something that's on your radar? Is that something that you would like to kind of stick around and see if you can be a part of it if that happens?
Wow, what a question. Do I have it in me? I mean, flag football is definitely less physically demanding than tackle football. As a quarterback, yeah, you're throwing the ball a lot more probably in flag, but the wear and tear maybe from post games of getting hit is a lot less. I definitely would love to, participate in the Olympics. I think that's like every athlete's dream is to be a part of like an Olympic team. And, if they call me and they want me to be a part of the team, I think I would do it. Depending on where I am in my life. I don't know if I'll be playing football for 5 more years. I mean, I'm 32 years old right now. And, as you know, the body is not getting younger, as they say. So, yeah.
Straight down, man.
Straight downhill. So, I don't know if I'll be playing tackle football, but flag football might be something that I consider to do and play for that Olympic if it becomes an Olympic sport and if my name gets called to represent Team Italy.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, you just said it. You don't know how long you'll be playing football. Are you taking it year by year right now?
For sure. In the past there was always in the past it was like, okay, mom and dad would let me to do it just because I'm covered under their insurance. And then it was like, once you're off that insurance, you got to come find a job and grow up. And I found a way to still have insurance after I was off their insurance. And now I got my fiance here in Italy, so it's not just a year by year thing. It's about like I think feeling it out for how I feel best and doing what's best for myself and my personal life as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, trying to blend that because I mean, yeah, it's no joke how big of a commitment football is, and obviously, I mean, playing quarterback. Did you watch Quarterback on Netflix?
I am on like episode 6. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's cool
series.
for like basically. I mean, that's an international series, and for the world to see like the demands of this position. I mean, I know we're probably biased, but it's the hardest position in sports. So yeah, trying to find that balance and knowing that you've got other aspects of your life. So you have seen football for about 10 years now in Europe. How have you seen it change and develop? And where do you see football in Europe going in the next 5 to 10 years?
I have definitely seen it expand tremendously. I mean, from when I first came, I feel like not many people were aware of the sport of football, and now they're hosting games, NFL games, in London, in Germany, and I think that like the NFL is doing a really good job of making it like a worldwide sport instead of just like a US based sport. And from when I first got to Europe, like I said, not much following, and now you see people like randomly on like in like the streets of Milan or wherever I'm at, like just like with football jerseys on. It's like, wow, like like this person knows American football, whether they know it or not. Maybe they just bought a shirt because they thought it was cool looking. You never know, but it's still like the brand awareness for sure has exponentially grown out here in Europe, and I think that they're just going to keep on expanding. I mean, I know they keep talking about having a NFL team based in Europe, which I don't see that happening anytime soon. But I do think that they're going to keep hosting more games in Europe just to continue and try and expand its horizons. I think they'll host more games in different countries as well. Like right now, it's only London and Germany. I think in the future they might have Spain, Italy, or some other country where they're going to try and like pinpoint a major city and go there.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, it's exciting to see it. You and I have both been lucky enough to kind of catch this wave of football really starting to pick up in Europe, across the continent, and of course with the new European League of Football, just absolutely helping it boom, and it's a cool thing, man. super excited for everything that you've done, man. And it's an honor to be able to talk to you. And it's great everything that you've accomplished, everything you've done for football in Italy, man. Congrats on everything, Luke.
Appreciate it, Nick.
All right, man.
I should say.
Have a good one.
You too, bro.
Bye, brother.
I'll see you in a few weeks.
See ya.